Hello, everyone. Okay, we're live right now, and I'm here with Julian from AODocs. My name is Justin from Coinstar. I'm the CEO, and today's webinar will be covering a little bit about the Google Cloud Platform as well as AODocs. So, and it's quite interesting. I was just chatting with Julian. So I'm here in Singapore, and the time now is about 10 a.m. And I'm sure we also have a few other visitors which are from Indonesia, where it's actually about 9 a.m. And then Julian is out in San Francisco, and it's like 6 p.m. out there, so you can see the windows are a little bit dark outside. But you know, we're very happy to have Julian join us today. And you know, we've been partners for many years already, and I thought that we wanted to do this presentation so that we could actually share more details about our partnership and share more details about the work we do, the products that we sell, and have a kind of a Q&A session. Just to let everyone know, this is a YouTube live recording, so whatever we present today will actually be recorded and put on our YouTube channel. So this kind of content we hope will be useful for you. If you you know, have colleagues which were not able to attend, you can share with them the link, and then they can actually watch the presentation. Just want to share a little bit more about AODocs. They are one of the first ISVs to be recommended by Google when they launched their recommended program 2 years ago. So recommended by Google is actually a program whereby Google you know, looks at an ISV, an independent software vendor, and then they see how well do they integrate their products with Google, and also kind of validates that their security meets the needs of you know, Google security. So all these things makes AODocs a very, very preferred software program, especially if you are using G Suite. And we recommend AODocs to our customers because we believe it could maximize the investments you have already done in G Suite and can significantly help to increase the adoption of G Suite platform by your users. So later on, we'll dive a little bit deeper into this. Julian, would you like to say anything at this point of time to all our viewers?
Yes. So hi everyone, and thank you, Justin, for the great introduction. So yes, just after the presentation of Justin, so I will present you what AODocs can do to actually maximize these investments that you have done in G Suite, making sure that your documents are well secured and controlled. So yes, I can't wait to show you that in a couple of minutes, and we are really happy and great at AODocs to actually work with Coinstar as one of our main partner, and our main partner actually on your region. So thank you, Justin. It's for you.
Okay, so I'm back again, and so now I'm going to start my presentation on Google Cloud Platform, and I hope you can all see my screen there. I've already shared my screen, so I'll move on to what we call the agenda at this point of time. Okay, so today's agenda is we'll talk about media archiving on the Google Cloud Platform, and then later on we will have Julian talk about AODocs. So let me jump straight into my agenda for today, which is media archiving on the Google Cloud Platform. So previously I spoke a little bit about on a broad overview of what the Google Cloud Platform can do, right? So we've touched on a lot of things, like, for example, you can use compute, you can use machine learning. So there's a lot of things that you can use Cloud Platform for. But today we want to actually drill into what we call the media archiving system, whereby you can actually store a lot of your files, right? Google Cloud Platform presents an almost infinite storage system which has also different tiers of storage systems. So we'll talk a little bit about how you can actually use that to store all the different media that you have in your company. So let's talk a little bit about the media storage and archiving landscape currently. Well, the media landscape is changing. There's a lot of media companies out there. We're talking about traditional media. We're talking about digital media. And people are moving more towards things like pictures and videos, right? So firstly, there is the concept of bursty workloads. Sometimes, let's say you're a news organization and then you will have very hot news, right? Then the workload could actually be jumping up at a certain point in time. And then there's also a need to actually do all kinds of media formats, from sound to video to images. And then you will have a distributed workforce that needs to be able to process all the images coming in, enormous amounts of data, and then new distribution models and a constant tool chain as well. So there's a lot of different things that are happening in the media landscape. And we all know that content is king. Data assets are our crown jewels, especially in media. But how do you actually tackle the fact that there are so many different media formats and huge amounts of data that's coming online, right? So if you look at this chart over here, unstructured data, which is mostly, in that sense, media data, right? It's actually growing so fast and so big, right? The growth is on a hockey stick growth, and is growing at about 56% per year, according to this report. So most of the data that people have are actually in unstructured data in terms of the size, right? Structured data goes mostly to databases, and that's a very mature ecosystem out there to handle databases like SQL, Oracle, and so on. However, for unstructured data, people are using things like tape backups, using things like storage area networks, and those are fairly primitive in some sense as well, and the scalability is not very strong. And if you look at, for example, new video formats are big data hogs, right? If you look at this chart over here, you can see the growth of high frame rate and high resolution images, videos, right? So the amount of growth is actually very phenomenal. In the face of changes of your digital assets, has your archive evolved, right? That's the question that we always ask our customers. You have all these different types of new data and new media coming in. Has any of your archives evolved? So can help you to keep pace with the growing demands of archiving digital content. Archiving to the cloud has several benefits. The first of which, of course, you can save money, right? Because you don't need to buy a large storage cluster. All you have to do is pay on a per gigabyte storage basis, and that actually helps you to all kinds of things, right? You can actually automate it, and then you can organize your archiving, right? And then the most important thing is that with much better almost real-time access to all your data, you can drive revenue, and you can create new businesses from your old data. So traditional costs, that you have in running the data center to store all this unstructured data, right, would be the capital cost. So you need to put in hardware, buy the software. There's labor cost, people and time, as well as risk as well, right? You have to get the right skills, and you have to oversight and do a lot of security on your on-premise system. On cloud, there's no capital outlay, there's no commitments, operations are managed by others, and you only pay for what you use. So Google Cloud offers the lowest storage prices anywhere and extreme economies of scale and automation, and we follow Moore's law's pricing, which means that prices might, or in fact will only get cheaper as you use it. Media archive cost and performance. One of the limitations of traditional archives is that availability declines as cost declines, right? IT has to make a trade-off between availability and the cost. And what if the trade-off has changed, right? However, cloud storage changes the whole equation. It increases availability at similar cost, and lower costs through fewer copies and less complexity. So with cloud storage, you can actually save a lot of money, right? Cloud-ready storage. So if you look at this diagram over here, that's how people in media and entertainment are actually storing a lot of their content, right? They're using local storage networks, external hard disk drives, DVD disks, Blu-ray disks, and 40%, surprisingly, is using digital tape, right? So tape is still the dominant archive medium, and only 4% of the media archive is on the cloud today, right? Cloud archiving is growing at 23.4% per year. Talking about tape, well, I'm sure you know tape has a real cost as well, right? It sounds cheap, but for example, every few years you need to refresh the tape, right? Because tapes are physical media, right? So it is susceptible to degradation. And then moving data forward as new tape capacities come into the market. So you need to actually keep moving things from older tapes to newer tapes. And then you need to do testing, right, to make sure that the backup infrastructure and the tapes are running at the same time. And then there's a human cost of managing the tapes and infrastructure to bring it around, to store it securely, to keep it in cool places. Right? So the cost of tape is actually much, much higher than the real cost of the media. So what we want to do with cloud archiving, right, is to end tape forever, right? Remove a complicated, antiquated, error-prone process. We want to reallocate human resources to achieve new objectives, right? So we also want to increase data availability. So you can easily find what you need when you need it, right? Because you can run search and you can just use it as a normal file system, right? Instead of having to load a disk and do it in a sequential way. So you can collaborate globally also on the assets that you use, even the assets that you use from time to time, right? And then you can do a lot of automation of data management, right? You can create a closed loop system for data lifecycle management, and you can achieve a highly efficient management from creation to deletion. The next thing is media companies have a lot of old content, right? Or rather a lot of archival content, right? So you can actually monetize your archive, right? If you store it in tape drive, it's stored in a storeroom somewhere, and there's no way that people can access it and use it, right? But for example, you can enable new capabilities. You can make your old content searchable. You can make it globally available. You can apply deep analytics and machine learning onto your content, right? You can open your content to other systems. So you can imagine, right? For example, the way so many different things that can be done. You can actually enable user-generated videos, device-generated content. You can scan film assets at 4 or 8K, clean up and redistribute for the new 4K TVs. You can create like niche content, right? Like for example, resuscitating old TV shows, or even old demo reels, partially or unfinished, modified or unmodified media assets. All these things that have been locked away on tape, right? You can actually create new business models to monetize them. So how do we get there? We want to introduce to you this concept called the Google Cloud Platform Nearline Storage, right? And that is what we propose as a replacement for all that tape storage. Nearline storage is what we call an always-on, affordable, long-term storage, right? It's a low-cost, highly durable storage service for data archiving and online backup and disaster recovery. So you don't just need to store your media files, but actually you can use it for any kind of data backup and disaster recovery. It's just like a storage area network. Data is available instantly and not within hours or days, right? So you can actually have your application call the file and then you can have it instantly. Response time is less than 4 seconds and it's cost less than 1 cent per gigabyte per month. So it gives you one of the best performance at the lowest cost. So some of the features of Nearline: 4 to 5 seconds latency for data retrievals, and there's a strict availability SLA at 99.9% per month, measured over 5-minute intervals. There's a high performance so that you can actually have predictable performance where you need to do RPO or RTO guarantees. Users can expect, for example, a 4 megabit per second of read throughput per terabyte of capacity stored in GCS Nearline. And it's also very, very easy to use, right? It has the same APIs as other GCS products, and users can leverage XML, JSON APIs. And then there's also other features such as versioning, range scans, and offset reads, right? So all these features are a leap, from all the tape backup systems. Okay. It also has what we call durability. That means it ensures that the data will not be lost, right? It's targeted to retain 99.999 over the course of a year, right? So it literally ensures that your data will not be lost. There's also control and security. You can put into certain places, certain data centers that Google has, and it's the same security as Google's cloud storage standard. And then it also has a rich partner system that you can tap onto to use tools, right, to use the storage. So the benefits are low TCO, rapidly accessible, more secure, integrated, and simple. So how do you actually archive with Nearline? So you need to think of it as 3 different things: management, transport, and storage, right? So Nearline is that storage layer, right? It gives you storage at a very cheap price, and then it still offers you the ability to retrieve your data at any time. But what happens is that you need to have the management software on top of it. So in this slide, you can see some of the various management software. If you already have that, then of course you could actually update your software and then configure them to use GCP Nearline storage. And then of course the next thing is the transport side of things. There is various ways that you can have online connectivity. For example, you can set up a direct peering, a Google Cloud Interconnect, or even a Cloud VPN to connect directly into the Google data centers. Or you can use offline import-export partners, which are able to import large amounts of data into Google Cloud Platform. So, ingestion options, 70 plus points of presence in, across 33 countries with low latency, so you can easily do online ingestion. Then we also have partners that can do offline media import and export, right? Then of course there's Cloud Interconnect, which if I'm not wrong, starts from about 10 Gbps of transfer that you can actually have with Google. So as a summary, you can actually modernize your archive with Nearline storage. Today's archiving is very expensive, complex, and the value of the data is often lost, right? With GCP, your archive is managed by Google. It's very secure, it has a low TCO, and it enables you to monetize your data in various ways. Today, if you use tape, it degrades over time, and it's very, very manual in operations, right? So with Nearline, it's rapidly accessible and it's automated. Tape archive does not easily scale and is also not compatible with the digital age. But with Google Cloud Platform and Nearline set up for you, you're set up for your future, and any potential disasters and your business growth can be handled. So you can see how with Google Cloud Platform and with its Nearline storage product, you can actually take your backup and disaster recovery to a totally different level. Okay, so with that, I have completed my part of the presentation. Let me stop my screen sharing now. And I'd like to invite Julian back to join us in the Hangout. And Julian will soon begin his presentation about AODocs. So while Julian is preparing, I just want to share a few things. One thing about what I presented just now was that with Google Cloud Platform, it's in that sense a very scale product, but it still has a certain amount of technical work that you need to put in to be able to set up that kind of backup and disaster recovery. And you can notice something, it's just mainly replacing that storage on your on-premise system. However, if you're a G Suite user, and especially if you are a G Suite business user which has an unlimited storage account, for example, right? You can actually take advantage of that, right? You don't, because since you already have unlimited storage and it actually works on a similar system as this cloud platform, you can actually use AODocs. So AODocs offers you a software as a service. So it's a fully web-based UI that you can run from anywhere, anytime, and it allows you to archive and manage your data much better. And on top of it, there's also a lot of security and workflows that you can do around your data. So that also presents a viable alternative for you to manage your data. So I'll hand it over to Julian now to share more about his product. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Justin. So, so you should see my my screen now. So, we love to work with Pornstar because Pornstar is really an expert on cloud technology, on GCP, on G Suite, and we love to have partners like Pornstar that have the full visibility and that can really help you in your in the development and deployment of your cloud strategy. So what is AODocs to get started before to go into the demo? So AODocs is a document management product on top of G Suite. So basically, what do we provide? So we provide workflow and business processes on top of your documents so that we can add extra security and validation on your documents. We can help you to add tags and metadata on top of your document to have better categorization and organization of your files. That can help also to have better search and better search capabilities on the documents that you will have in G Suite and Google Drive. We have functionalities of checkout, check-in that enable you to actually control in real time who can actually edit a document so that we can enforce a real version control and version management on your documents. And we provide a full set of extra security on top of your document in Google Drive so that you can implement security policies and governance on top of your documents for your full organization so that your end users do not have to care anymore on how their documents are shared. You can prevent any accidental sharing, any accidental loss of documents, etc., etc. So everything is totally integrated into G Suite. So as soon as your users are connected into G Suite, so they are connected to AODocs, we use your Google Drive storage to actually control the documents that you have in AODocs. So there is no external storage. We don't store anything on the AODocs server or whatever. Everything is on your G Suite and Google Drive storage. So that your users can actually benefit from their Google user experience. And we have a few functionalities that can also enable your users to continue using Microsoft Office files if you still have this product within your organization, and I will show you that in a couple of minutes. And of course, so we can integrate with other solutions. So if you have a CRM, if you have a ERP, etc., so we can actually also integrate with these solutions. So AODocs is a global company. So myself, I am based in San Francisco, California, but we have offices all around the world, including in Asia Pac. And we have today more than 2 million users worldwide that use our products. So we have small companies of 5 or 10 users up to big company of 55,000 employees. And you will see here some logos like Google. So Google is actually using us internally. We have manufacturing companies like Whirlpool, pharmaceutical companies, etc., etc. And we have today a little bit more than 800 customers. So this slide deck is not up to date anymore for that. But just to give you a little bit of overview of the customers that actually use us. So let me move now into the demo itself, just to show you the value of AODocs inside of Google Drive. So let me move into Google Drive. So here, what you see here, it's my Google Drive. So when you don't use AODocs, so your documents are user-centric. So it means that your users can actually create documents, create folders, and they will personally own the documents that they create. So it gives a lot of flexibility for users, because it means that as a user, I can actually share a document easily internally or externally. I can also delete a document if I don't need this document anymore. But it brings some limitation for the assets that you need to keep for your organization, because you don't have a real corporate governance on the documents here. So it's what AODocs will provide. So let me go inside of a folder that is actually controlled by AODocs. So here I will go in a folder structure called contract management, and this folder structure is actually a structure that is controlled by AODocs. So what does it mean? It means that first you have a central ownership for all of the documents and folders that are created inside of this folder. So like what you have in Team Drive. So it means that it's not an end user anymore that owns the document, but it will be this corporate account, and it will be an account on your domain. And then after, so you can implement some security policies for this folder that will be applied for every subfolder and document inside of this folder structure. So it's what we provide here. So you see we have a security center for each folder. And on this security center, so if I click on it, so you will see several things. So you can manage the retention of your document. So you can choose how long deleted document can be kept inside of this folder structure. So you have this granularity for each folder structure in AODocs. You can manage and choose who is authorized to share the content, who is authorized to delete the content, who is authorized also to create subfolders. So you have this granularity for each folder structure, so that if you want to implement a folder structure for your finance department, a folder structure for your HR department, etc., so you will be able to have different security policies depending on the department. And then, of course, the permission itself. So we have the same permissions that what you have in Google Drive, so the view and edit access. But we have also an administrator role, so that you can delegate the administration of the HR folder structure, for example, to the HR director. So this is about the security and the permission. So now let me go and create a document. So you can, of course, create a Google format document. You can upload a new document from your computer as well. And we have also an integration where you can create a brand new Office document directly in Google Drive as well. So in my case, I will actually create upload a contract that I have already started to work on with Pointstar. So let me import these documents. So in my case, it's a Word document. So I will upload the documents, and you will see in a couple of seconds, so my document is actually added inside of this folder, and you see that the document is immediately secured and controlled by AODocs. So what does it mean? It means that if I right-click on the document, so I'm not authorized anymore to delete the document. And if I click on the sharing permission of the documents, so you see that as an end user, I'm not authorized to share this document. So I can ask my administrator to do it, but I'm not authorized to do it as an end user. So that as it's a contract, so my document is secured and my document is now the property of my company. So I have created here a Word document to show you that we have an integration where we can open any type of document in a local software. So for example, we can open a PDF file inside of Acrobat. We can open an engineering file inside of AutoCAD software, etc. And in that case, for example, for a Word document, so you will see that AODocs authorize you to open this document in Microsoft Word. So it's what the system is doing right now. And in a couple of seconds, so my documents will actually open in Microsoft Word. So just make sure that my Word is open. So I will just open the good document. So I think I am on an empty document here. So okay, so I think my my Word need to reboot, but just to show you. So here, for example, I have a contract that I have started to work on with Pornstar, and now my contract, as I said, so is secured in Google Drive. So now my document is actually shared in read-only with the different people that have access to this this folder. But because it's a contract, before to share it with Pornstar and before to get the signature from Pornstar, I need to have my legal department that will actually review the document. And this is another benefit of AODocs. So with AODocs, we have workflow capabilities that you can customize. And with these workflow capabilities, so we will be able to send this document for approval that before that the document is shared with a larger audience. So it's what I can do from this information button. So here, if I click on this information button, you will see that so my document has been initiated and I'm not yet authorized to send this document for validation because I have few information that need to be filled first. So I will fill this information. So I will just click on this edit button. And from this button, so I will be able to categorize my documents. So here, for example, you see the name of the creator, the name of the last updater, so that you have a real control of who has created the document, of who modified the document, etc. So we keep all of that in the logs of the product in case that you are getting audited. And then I will fill different information related to this document. So for example, I will fill in my case a contract number, the name of the company. So for example, it's Pornstar, the name of my attorneys that will review this contract. So in my case, I will say that it's Mike, a contract date, an expiration date. So in my case, the document will expire after this date. So the document will be unshared and we will send a notification to the legal department that they need to review this document before the expiration. So you can totally customize all of this information. You can customize the categories that you want to have, and you can customize the type of notification, the type of reminder that you want to have. So now that I have filled the important and mandatory information, I will be able to save. And when I have saved, so now I will be able to send my document for legal approval. So you see that for the moment, my document is in draft. So my document is not yet shared with the full audience. And now my document will be shared with my legal department. So I will just say, please review this contract today. And I click on submit. So you see that now my document is waiting for legal approval, and my lawyer will receive an email notification. So you see here, we have a new notification that has just been sent. And if I open this notification, so you see my Pointstar contract with some information, like the contract number, like the company name, etc. So all of this information are actually visible and can be sent directly through an email notification. And directly from there, I can actually approve or reject the documents, or I can do it, of course, from the Google Drive interface. So in my case, I will just approve the documents. Good for me. I click on submit. And then after that, so my document will be sent to my executive for last validation before that we can share actually this document to the customer. So now, if I am an executive, so I will receive also a notification saying that the document is now approved. So I just approve the document now, and you see that now the document is a valid contract. So from now on, so the permission of the document has been totally changed in read-only, so that we cannot do any modification on the document anymore, and the document can now be shared externally with my customer. So I don't have this on this specific use case, but if you have if you are using an electronic signature system, so we can also automatically send this document at the end of a process to an electronic signature system, so that you can have a full digital process for what you want to implement. So then from Google Drive, as I said, so you can have a full visibility on the different process and the different steps where your documents are. So for example, here, I can see easily on this folder structure all of my documents that are in draft, all of my documents that are waiting for legal approval, etc., etc. So you can provide here really a solution where your end users can actually do absolutely everything from the Google Drive interface. But if you have some more advanced user where you want to provide them with more advanced functionalities, where better way of searching for documents, better way of organizing documents, etc. So AODocs also provide a specific and dedicated interface that I will show you right now. And on this dedicated interface that you see here, and you can choose who can actually access this interface. So you will see, for example, my folder with all of my NDA, and including the documents that I have created with Pointstar. And here you can see, and you can have a better visibility on the metadata, on the tags that are added to the documents. So you see here, for example, the company name, the contract number, the title, of course, of the document, the expiration date, so that here you can have a full visibility on the expiration date of all of your documents. The state, of course, of the document, the attorney that is in charge, etc. Everything is searchable. So you can search for the title of the document, for the content, but also for the metadata. And you can filter based on specific information. So I can filter on a currency, I can filter on the state of a document, of a document creator, etc. And you customize as a customer, you can customize the different search options that you want to offer to your end users. So I see a couple of questions on the live chat. So before to move forward, I will just take and answer to some of them. Hi, what if the document is wrongly updated and needed to be deleted? So this is a good question here. So you can choose who is authorized to delete a document. And if you authorize all of your users in a folder structure to actually delete documents, so let's say that, for example, I delete this document. So there is a trash box that is available to all to the administrator of this folder structure, where they can restore a document that were deleted by a user. So this is this AODocs trash box here. And if something has been accidentally deleted, so here I have the possibility to restore a document that were deleted by one of my users. So this is very important. It means that with AODocs, nothing is never really lost, and you can actually restore a document if a user has deleted the wrong document. So we add this this protection. If you are not an administrator, so and that you have the right to delete a document, so you will be able to delete the document, but you won't have the capabilities to restore the document. You will need to ask an administrator for that. So I see another question. So we still face issues with Office documents, editing compatibilities in either Google Docs or Sheets. Some formattings were cleared or perhaps unrecognized in Docs and Sheets. So this is, so if I, if I can show you in one of my documents, so let me go in a document where I have some documents. So basically, so for some reason my Word is not launching here, but this is we provide actually a functionality where you can actually open your document in your local software. So for example, in Word, in Excel, and the documents, we won't change the formatting of the document because your document will be will open in your local software. So we don't do any conversion. So I think I might maybe miss some rights. So let me show you in another folder. Okay, so no, really, my system do not want to start this, but I will send you a video after this webinar that show actually how we can how the documents actually open in the local software so that you don't lose any formatting. Great. So this is what I wanted to show you in my side in AODocs. So before to move into more questions, so just wanted to show you an extra slide. So just to tell you that as an attendee of this webinar, so if you are interested by AODocs, so of course you can contact Justin and your Pointstar sales rep, and if you decide to, if you are interested and decide to purchase AODocs, so we have a promotion before the end of this year where we provide you 25% discount on the first 100 licenses that you purchase, whatever the AODocs products that you will choose. So make sure to come back to your Pointstar team before the end of this year in order to benefit from this promotion. So, Justin, maybe we should move into the question now, unless you have another.
Sure. Sounds good. I think thanks very much, Julian, for your very comprehensive presentation. Yeah, I think now we can do a Q&A. So we've actually come back onto this video again. If you have any questions, please post on our live chat inside the YouTube live. Feel free to ask us any questions about AODocs, about the features, even the pricing. I mean, we'll be happy to share it with you. I mean, some of these things, maybe on the website, but we're here anyway, so we can actually share it with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And for the people that do not have questions, so just don't forget after this webinar to fill the form where you see this address, and you will receive a certificate of attendance from Pointstar.
Yeah, we've actually put the link inside the chat already, so you can easily click on it and fill in the feedback form. We would love to get some feedback from you. I think in the meantime, I do have a few questions for Julian. Maybe can you share with us what are your different pricing plans for your product?
Yes, definitely. So we have three main products. So we have AODocs Enterprise folder. So AODocs Enterprise folder is actually the product that will bring you all of the security features that you see here in Google Drive, where you can have more security granularity, etc. And this product is $48 per year and per user. And you don't need to purchase it for the full organization, so you can purchase it for a specific department if you don't need it for everyone. And the second product, main product that we have is AODocs Document Management. And AODocs Document Management provides the other features that I presented to you with document metadata, with workflow capabilities, etc. And this product is at $86 per year and per user. And we can mix both products if needed into the same domain.
Okay. And can I check with you? What do people usually migrate from, right? Like what were some of the existing systems that they had, and then when they moved to G Suite, they also had to use AODocs.
So we have a lot of users that actually move documents from file servers and file shares. So AODocs is a good product to help you to actually decommission a file server and have your file server migrated in a secured environment in Google Drive. We have also a lot of customers that actually migrate data from a system like Microsoft SharePoint, like Lotus Notes, like HP Trim, etc. And we have the solutions where we can actually migrate not only the documents, but also the permissions, the metadata, the workflow status, etc. And this is why we work with partners like Pointstar and with your team, Justin, is that this is the perfect combination where AODocs can be the product that will secure actually all of your data, and the team of Justin can actually help you to migrate your content that you have on this other document management system into AODocs.
Can you share a little bit about the mass migration capabilities or tools that you have?
Yeah, sorry, can you say again?
Can you share a little bit about the mass migration tools or capabilities that you have? You know, let's say a user has, you know, terabytes of files for many years, right? How do we get everything into AODocs and Google Drive?
Yeah, so first, if you have a lot of documents, we are going to work with you in order to making sure that all of the documents that you migrate absolutely need to be migrated, because we don't see necessarily the point of migrated documents that you are never going to use. So we spend time with you at the beginning of your project to identify and to do an analysis and assessment to see what you are going to migrate, if everything makes sense to be migrated, and we can work with you to do a cleanup. And then after, when we have defined this cleanup, and when we have defined the security policies of each structure of documents that you are going to migrate, so then after we can migrate this content. And to migrate the content, so we can use, in some cases, some migration products that we have developed internally. So we have some products to migrate specific document management system, but we work also with existing migration products that exist in the market, like AppBridge, like Cloud Migrator, etc., that can help also to migrate this content. So it's really depending on the content that you are going to migrate. We can define together what will be the best migration strategy, as well as the best product to use for this migration.
I see. Okay, that's fantastic. It's good to hear that there's a comprehensive solution available to, you know, to move all the files and data over to AODocs. And it's also good to see that the pricing model is also something that possibly can, you know, save our clients a lot of cost when it comes to maintaining servers of their existing on-prem, right? So they can actually move to a full cloud system that has all the workflow and security around it.
Absolutely.
I think we have one or two questions regarding Office compatibility between Google Docs and Microsoft Office. You want to share on that, or should I do it?
Yes. So give me just 1 second for this. I just need to make sure that I can show you what we can do. So, okay. So let me share my screen again, and I will show you what we can do to help you with compatibility issues that you may have. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so now you should see my screen. So basically, let me go in a folder where we have some documents, some non-Google documents, just to show you about the compatibility. So I'm just looking for a non-Google document. Sorry for that. Okay, so you see here, for example, in this folder, I have some documents that are not in a Google format. So, for example, I have Word document, I have Excel document, etc. And what AODocs provide is a functionality where you can actually open these documents, not in Google, so that in that case, the document will not be converted and that you will not lose, you will not have any compatibility issues. So for example, here you see I click on this button and AODocs actually open the document. So you see there is a local synchronization that is done, and the system actually opened by itself Microsoft Excel.
Wow.
And yeah, and here you will have your document. So sorry, I have not taken a document with a lot of content, but basically you can have documents with macro, with advanced formatting, etc., and you will not lose anything because we open the document in Excel or in Word, etc. There is an automatic checkout check-in so that the document is locked for other users so that you don't have any edition conflict. And when you have finished to work on the document, so you just have to close and save the document, and the modification will be saved back in Google Drive. And you see here, my modification time has been modified for this document. So this is the functionality that we provide in order to avoid having any compatibility issue. And this extension that we have in AODocs, we call this the universal file opener. And we have a lot of customers using AODocs mainly a lot for this functionality, because it enables you to migrate content from other systems without the need to convert the document in the Google format.
Wow, that's a very nice presentation there, you know, and I think that probably answers many of the questions about how you can keep things compatible. Just to provide some additional points there, you know, for when we do migrations to G Suite, of course you can do that conversion between the different types of documents, right? But what we do is we usually share with our customers that, for example, if you have a lot of archival documents, old documents, it might make more sense to use something like what you've just seen in AODocs, where you just upload everything into your Google Drive and then use this tool, right? And teach people how to use this tool where they can just open the file and then it locks the access to any other users in the domain, right? And then you can just edit your file. And when you're done with it, you automatically save it back to the Google Drive, right? So that way, it's a small little change in the way they do things, but it's also very similar to how you would use any other document management system. And that allows that control as well as the ability to retain the formatting, right? So I can imagine that besides all the Office documents, for example, if you're doing photo editing, right, you're using Photoshop or something, that's something that people still use a desktop tool for. And this will be very fantastic because you can actually do your photo editing inside Photoshop, and when you're done, you save it back into AODocs, into Google Drive, right? For example, if you're doing AutoCAD as well, that would be the same thing, right? You would still use a desktop software to do it, but you would want to use the kind of unlimited cloud storage that's available in Google Drive, and the kind of like versioning and workflow and what is that, locking capabilities inside AODocs, right? To basically complement your workflow. So I think this will allow you to kind of like move that data storage workflow all to the cloud, and then you can still use your desktop tools, which your people are familiar with. So there's no productivity loss. In fact, you probably increase that productivity, and you also ensure that your data is not lost anywhere, because all that is all automatically backed up on Google Drive. So these are some of the few points I want to bring up. And then of course, what we would recommend is that if you have people which you know, you're driving that change management inside a company, share with people to for example, when they are creating new documents, then you use Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, Google Slides, right, to create new documents, right? And then you store it in the same folder. So that way you have the best of both worlds, and then you don't have to struggle with so much compatibility problems. Yeah, we have a few more questions about, oh, my company is always using the same style format in letter. Yeah, I mean, it works for all the common formats, right? I think Julian has actually put some answers over there. Over 1,000 formats, in fact. So all the common formats that you see inside Windows, inside Mac, all of that can be accessed inside here. So you don't have to change all that workflow, just because you're using Google Docs to do so. So we always like to say, use the best of all the different products, right? Use the best of all the worlds that you have, and it's just a matter of making sure that you know the possibilities are out there, and then you can tap onto them. Okay, do we have any other questions? Julian, would you like to share any more things? I think we are coming up to the end of the hour, and maybe you can share any last comments before we end the presentation.
So yeah, just to let you know all that. So first, thank you very much for attending this webinar. And if you want to test and try AODocs, so you can actually test it for 14 days, so that if you want to try some functionalities before to take your decision, so you can definitely do that. Remember that with Pointstar, we have actually a promotion until the end of this year. So feel free to and make sure to contact Pointstar before that date if you want to benefit from this promotion, and we'd be more than happy to do a more advanced demo if you have a specific use case that you are interested in. So we can also do some custom demo with your team and Pointstar. So thank you all for attending, and thank you very much, Justin, for organizing this webinar.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone, and we'll have this recording up on our YouTube channel soon. Okay, see you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.